Hello, I am Buck Rogeman, the Director of Curriculum and Special Projects for Pacific Grove Unified School District. And today we're going to talk a little bit about our goals and areas of focus with regard to cultural proficiency. We want to make sure that we're valuing our diverse cultures and ensuring access for all. It's always a good idea when we talk about cultural proficiency to look at the definition that this district uses. For us, being culturally proficient enables people within an organization to view cultural differences as assets, effectively respond to issues that arise in diverse environments, and also foster policies and practices that are going to afford value to all. And one of the things I think that you're going to see as we go over our goals and areas of focus is that each aspects of the definition become very prominent in what we hope to do this year. All right, so PGUSD is going to focus on the following areas in terms of cultural proficiency for 2023 and 2024. We're going to be looking at education and ongoing evaluation of our efforts. Also want to look at our incident response as well as communication efforts. So let's start off by talking a little bit about education. When we're talking about educating folks with regard to cultural proficiency, we're talking about our staff, students, and families. When you talk about staff, the area where we start is at professional development. We want to make sure that we identify needs that our staff has and design professional development to help address those needs for our staff. Also, we want to provide staff with the instructional materials that will help them represent diverse perspectives and cultures that are reflected in our district. And then also make sure that we have some professional development activities that will help our instructional staff use culturally responsive instructional strategies, as well as equitable grading practices. When we're looking at our students, we want to make sure that they have access to a diverse curriculum that is reflective of the cultures that are at our schools and also offer different perspectives. We also want our students to learn about the contribution of people of various cultures throughout the entire school year and not just during months where those cultures might be an emphasis nationwide. Also, we want to support our students in managing the dynamics of difference that occur in a diverse environment. We want to give them the skills and the tools to handle any kind of conflicts that may wind up coming up. And then with regard to our families, we want to make sure our families stay informed about our cultural proficiency efforts, which is one of the reasons why these videos and the resources on the website have been made available. We want to make sure that you understand the work that we're doing because we're very proud of it here at PGUSD. And then, of course, we want to seek the feedback of our families so we can make sure that we're addressing the needs that are identified by our community. When we're talking about the ongoing evaluation of the program, we want to make sure that we have assessment tools in place so we can gauge the effectiveness of the cultural proficiency efforts that we're doing. We want to make sure that we have a needs survey that's going to go out to all of our staff so they can help us identify where they feel they could use some assistance with regard to professional development. Then we also want to monitor the program effectiveness by using some of the data that we collect from our students, including data from the California Healthy Kids Survey, the Core SEL Survey, and then also get some student focus groups together so we can sit down and have quality discussions with them and really see how our campuses are doing. Next, we want to make sure that we respond in a culturally proficient way to incidents of bias that may occur on our campuses. When you bring diverse groups together, there is going to be conflict at times. And if there's an incident of bias, we want to make sure that our administration has proper training on how to handle things before, during, and after an incident. When we talk about before an incident, we're really looking at having measures of prevention that are in place. During an incident, we want to make sure that our administration has proper training so they know how to respond in a culturally sensitive way when they're working through an incident of bias at one of our campuses. And then afterward, we want to make sure that we employ restorative practices when they're appropriate, and then also look at support avenues that we can have provided for the victim of an incident of bias. We want to put in place a confidential reporting system so we have a better idea of what is going on at our campus and what issues need to be addressed. And then also we'll be using age-appropriate consequences when something occurs. Finally, we want to work on our communication effort to make sure that our entire community has access to information about cultural proficiency, equity, and the work that we're doing at PGUSD. So what you're going to see is that we're going to use a variety of media, including newsletters, website information, videos, as well as podcasts. We are also going to do community outreach at both the district and site levels, having meetings where parents can ask us questions about cultural proficiency and the equity actions that are occurring at our sites, and also just to get to know our staff a little bit better. And then finally, we want to make sure that we publicize with transparency our cultural proficiency efforts so that everybody is aware of what's going on and just exactly what we mean by cultural proficiency. So as we go forth and do this work, remember that it's all about valuing our diverse cultures and ensuring access to all. Thank you.